Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to YACC, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Outcast, Second Contact. It is a remake slash remaster of the original Outcast from 1999, and the Second Contact came out in 2017. It was published by Infogrames and Big Ben Interactive, but also there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know. But first, a little backstory. So I picked this game up as a physical copy, and I'm glad I did because I saved the $15 on it. Usually it's the other way around with digital game shops and PSN and whatnot. You get a cheaper if you order it online and pay through that kind of method. But anyway, I picked this up, I looked at the cover and it looked cool. And this is one of those hidden gems because I never heard of this game before, but I'm glad I picked it up. A hidden gem. And a lot of people don't even know about this game, which I find fascinating. It's like just fell off the face of the earth or something. But before I start talking about the game, there are some words that you have to know before you even get into this. And this game threw me in for a loop because I was bombarded with words I didn't understand. So this game puts you in a foreign parallel universe world, and you're bombarded with strange words and stuff. The aliens that you have contact with, Second Contact, they speak English, but they have like different phrasing. So you are referred to as the Olokai, which is basically the chosen one. So I don't know why, but you have this T-shirt on with the game logo on, and it's actually a reference to the parallel universe and world. So you are the chosen one in their universe because you're there to save them. And the people that live on this planet called, or this world called Adelpha, are the Talon, or Talons, and they are like mostly like humans, but they are kind of, their faces are a little bit shifted. Think a little bit like Star Trek as a reference. And the Talon often speak about the Yards, which is basically a higher deity or gods that they worship, entities with godlike properties, I guess. And then you have the Mons, and the Mons are the things that you collect in the game. You need 5 of them to actually save this world and return to your own. So the Mons are, and this is a big spoiler, they are like, if you imagine like a circuit board or a motherboard, there's some piece of technology that you need. It's kind of a weird thing. They call it the Mons, so they call it the Mons, and it's sort of a holy thing for them, I guess. Really weird. And then you have the Riz. And the Riz is kind of these vegetables that they plant on a certain planet, and the Riz is kind of part of the whole puzzle because you fight against an entire army of bad Talons, soldiers basically, and the Riz production is basically the food supply for the army, so you need to weaken the army by actually stopping the Riz production. And then you have the main bad guy, Karos, which he is the leader of the bad Talons, the soldiers, I guess. And then you have Tuohan, which is basically like animals. Think like lizard slash chickens without feathers. They're basically like horses to our world. They drag like carriages and stuff and help in the Riz production. And then you have the Dauka, which are basically portals. If you imagine like Stargate, it's exactly like that. Portals to take you to different places, different worlds. And then the last word is Sorkins, which is their currency. So the game starts with you, Cutter Slade, in a bar drinking whiskey, in a bad mood kind of setting. Cutter Slade is like a soldier, a former soldier or a Navy SEAL operative. So a major walks into the bar and he reluctantly recruits you to lead a group of scientists into a rift into a parallel or / other dimensional world. Of course, it goes astray and you wake up in the world of Adelpha, and it's snow everywhere and there's weird aliens and stuff, and you wake up in a bed and there's like the chieftain of the village of the Talons, the race of these aliens. He refers to you as the Ulukai, the chosen one basically. So you need to get away from this place, you need to save the world, I guess, save your own and close the rift. So the leader of the village agrees to help you if you collect 5 Mons for him. And it's not really clear what the Mons are. There's like, at least until the beginning, but the Mons are basically circuit boards for some type of machine. So, I haven't gotten that far into the game, even though I played mostly the whole week, because this is an excellent game. Really interesting, story heavy, lots of text, lots of speech and whatnot. But anyway, I only found like one of the mons, and it was like a long struggle to even get there. But anyway, you get told to talk to the chieftain's son, John, and he wants you to do like trials to prove that you are indeed the chosen one. And this is kind of the tutorial, how you learn how to play. So the trials are basically shooting, jumping, sneaking, and swimming. But the funny thing about this is I kind of finished the jumping mission, the test, without even noticing. I was just exploring this little landmass that you can walk on, and I jumped across like a little cliff, and I found a thing, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the test. And I talked to Jan about the jumping test, and he said, you're already done it. And I was like, okay, sure. And then you have the shooting test, you pick up your gun and learn how to shoot. And then the jumping part, I said, and the sneaking. And the sneaking part was really irritating. You just have to crouch, and you have to move between covers when John is not looking. You're supposed to steal this fruit or something, yeah. And then there's the swimming, and I thought that was kind of funny because this wintry landscape, and it's probably like, super cold, and he has to go into the water and like swim a distance, pick up things in the water and whatnot. And you pass the test, you go talk to the chieftain again, and he opens the portal to a jungle biome, basically, through the portal called Daoka, like a Stargate, as I said before. And it was kind of cool because you went into the gate, and all of a sudden you're in a jungle biome, or like, more like a swamp, actually. If you imagine like a Chinese rice field, that's exactly what it looks like, this kind of swampy kind of area. But when you get out of the portal, you actually get right into the water, and it was like weird because the portal on the other side has fallen into water, so it's not exactly like standing up, it's actually sideways. And I was like, what? And then I kind of explored some more, and I found a village, and I talked to different talents about like how to help them find the mons. And you're supposed to talk to all these kind of people and kind of solve their problems. It's essentially you try to save their world and your own at the same time. You have to help them so they can help you. So they refer to you as the chosen one, the Ulukai, and you have to do missions for them. So this is basically like any adventure kind of shooter game. You do quests and you get stuff, and yeah, that's kind of it. So you talk to, I believe his name is Mar, and he's one of the more funnier characters because he's really stupid. So the main bad guy appointed Mar in charge of the risk production, which are these kind of vegetables that feed the soldiers' army. So Mar is really stupid, and this bad guy put him in charge because he's easy to manipulate and control. And there's this funny scene where the chosen one, Slade, kind of says like, what do you think happened to those who doesn't work in the risk fields? And Mar, which is stupid, he kind of says like, well, they probably give him some other jobs, but they probably kill him, But Mar is too stupid to realize the fact. But anyway, you kind of earn the trust of the talents, and you actually have a reputation system. You can talk to like the shamans, the high priests, I guess, because there's some kind of religion in here with like, it fits all the pieces with the chosen one, and it's kind of a cool concept. A bit like Flash Gordon or these kind of early sci-fi flicks where you go to an alien world and there's like certain culture, and it's a really cool concept. But anyway, you build a trust and you weaken the enemy's defenses, and it's one of those things, the enemy actually gets weaker if you stop the risk production, and if you get items, you pick up stuff, and you do quest lines, and you go to other worlds, and there's like the swamp world, and there's the ice world, the snow world, and there's lava, and all these cool stuff. It's actually like a really cool concept, and each of these worlds have like a mon that you have to find. So you have to help the local population with their problems and defeat spoilers along the way to earn a better reputation, and eventually you can go home, I guess. So there's some really cool like puzzles. I went to like a forest biome through Adaoka, and there was this, without even knowing what to do, you know, you just start to explore the map, and there was this kind of aborigines, these kind of primitive talents that doesn't speak, and they kind of attack you if you provoke them. So I thought it was kind of cool that they have like all these kind of civilizations, and even the talents themselves says that, well, they're primitive, so we just leave them alone. And well, and anyway, you find this hunter in near the Kråkan, and he needs to save like a shaman, and you need to actually find the shaman because you need to find the mons. So you start to look for him. So you find him on an altar surrounded by these aborigines, and you basically kill him off and you save the guy. And he does, this is the funny part, it's like the every biome that you visit, you talk to the priest or I forgot the reference, but this is like a special kind of term they use. You talk to him and you ask about the mon, and they don't know what the mon is. So there's basically like this Super Mario kind of mentality. Well, Mario, your princess is in another castle, so you pretty much have to find it yourself. And you get a map, and you know there's some kind of weird symbols, and they make a term for like, well, it's about a musical puzzle. So you find this kind of organ thing, and you have like these pipes that you find through with the map, with the help of the map. And you're supposed to place them in a certain way so you can open up the secret way to the mon. And it's like, how could you figure this out back in the day if you didn't have a strategy guy? You know, internet was you know, working in 1999, but you know, it's so improbable. Probably gamers back in the day actually were better thinkers and, you know, figured these kind of crazy puzzles out, really. So gameplay. Get the mons, save Adelpha and the talents from the evil talent soldiers, and save the day. Control. The left stick's move, the right stick is camera, the D-pad acts as shortcuts. I never used them though. The option menu pauses, and the triangle drops the current item that you have. X is jump, squares interact, hit L1 to sneak, L2 to swim down, R to roll, R1 to roll, R2 to shoot. If you have like the L2 up, you kind of aim, and R2 you kind of fire your gun, and R3 is the most important thing. It's use map or scan the environment, because this game doesn't have any quest markers, and we're kind of spoiled, current gamers, like with Skyrim and Fallout. You have quest markers, so you need to find a person. You just look at the map and you go, well, that's the direction I need to go. So this game has a funny mechanic. If you're looking for a specific person, a talon in this case, you ask like a villager or a peasant, where can I find Mar or Zeeb or whatever the name is, and they kind of point in the direction you're supposed to go. So I thought that was brilliant. We don't have quest markers, but you can just, they point you in the right direction. Or, as I found out much later, you can actually scan the environment by pushing down the right stick, R3, and you can actually see the characters on the map. So yeah, there you go. Graphics. The original game used a technique involving something called voxels, and this is one of those things you have to look up on YouTube, because it's a really special way of rendering stuff. It's not like, I think it's due to like vertex points, and they kind of stretch the textures over them, not like traditional bit mapping and stuff. It's a really interesting technique. It doesn't fly well today, but back in '99 it was sure was impressive, I guess. But the version, the second contact version, used the Unity engine, and everything looks beautiful except for the character models. They actually look kind of bland. I don't know why. Slade looks fine, but he's the hero, so he has to have like certain qualities, I guess. Sound and music. The Russian Symphony Orchestra made the soundtrack for this game. Lenny Moore, Sean McKay, William Strömberg. If you imagine like a bit of Star Wars and a bit of Skyrim music, so you have this choir music and you have these kind of vivid space fantasy vibes. I really like the soundtrack. You just know you can listen on it by yourself, and it feels like an adventure kind of sci-fi Flash Gordon movie. The only problem I have like are the sound effects, because they didn't do any new recordings from '99 to this. They took the same clips, voice clips, and they kind of, I guess they restored them digitally and made them sound a little better, but some parts actually shine through. I don't know why, and they have like these stock sound effects, like when some enemies get shot or they get hurt. It's like plays like a stock sound effect. Like if you have seen Star Wars, there's always like a guy that gets shot and falls off the railing. That sound effect, it's there. I thought that was brilliant, you know. So in conclusion, this is a hidden gem, and I think that you have to play it because it's really good. It's one of those kind of games that doesn't come around very often, and a lot of people don't know about this. I don't know why. It's like it flew under the radar. So I guess when everyone else was playing like Half-Life 1 and Unreal or Unreal Tournament, this game was out, and it was like kind of neglected, I guess. But check it out. It's actually worth the price to pay. It's a cool game, cool concept. A little bit slow on some parts, but the music is good and the graphic looks good. There's some tedious quest lines, but it's a cool game basically. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching, and take care.